Last night, my iPhone tried to f me, and now I'm convinced that AI is gonna kill us all. This is gonna be a weird one, but I just have to get this off my chest and tell you guys what just happened. So if you follow this channel, you know that most of the time I'm talking about all the lessons that I've learned from building a 9-figure coaching business, but today I've got something very strange for you. All right, I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, so in my business, we use AI quite a bit to help with copywriting and marketing and all this other stuff. And the engines that we use the most, there's 4 of them. We use Claude, we use ChatGPT, we use Manus.ai, and we use Grok. Now, Grok is Elon Musk's AI, and Grok just got a major update. So it's got the most processing power behind it of any AI out there. And so I was like, okay, great. The new version of Grok just came out. I was like, I want to go ahead and I want to give this thing a shot. So I use AI to talk strategy, to write copy, to do all kinds of stuff. And it's really, really helpful. So I've been using Grok for the past few days, and it's had a major upgrade, and it's really great. So it's been helping me come up with marketing hooks and all kinds of good stuff. All right, now here's where it starts to get weird. Elon, in the latest update, has added characters to Grok. Now, I thought that these characters were basically just a skin of the AI that was already there. So what do I mean? What I mean is, like, normally when you've got an AI engine and you're going to talk to it and use the voice interface, you can say, I want a male voice, I want a female voice, I want a British accent, I want an American accent, right? So there's 2 characters that have come out so far. One of them is this like squirrely woodland creature thing. You can see it here. And the other one is this anime style babe. All right. Now, I thought, again, that these were just skins, that the woodland creature thing would have like its own personality and its own voice, and the anime girl would have her own personality and her own voice. But basically, it's the same thing as you just talking to the AI. It just has a different voice. Like, how wrong I was. All right, so I decided to start playing with these things. And so I pull up the woodland creature thing and I start asking it the same questions that I would always ask an AI, talking about marketing hooks, talking about whatever. And it's got some attitude, which was kind of fun. It was a little bit like Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, okay, this is cool, right? And I didn't really go that far down that rabbit hole. So then I pulled up the anime girl, whose name is Annie, I guess, and started talking to her. And the voice is a little breathless. It's like a little flirty. It's like, hey, handsome, what's your vibe today? What can I help you with? And so right away, I just do what I normally do with the AI. And I'm like, hey, so, I've got a webinar coming up next week. I'm trying to come up with some really good hooks for the landing page. Can you help me out? And it was very helpful. It's like, sure, handsome, no problem, right? So it's a little flirty. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, it's a nice touch. It's kind of fun. So it starts helping me out with the marketing stuff and coming up with some really actually good hooks, just like Grok always does. So Grok is really good at helping you come up with marketing. And even though I was talking to it through this Annie character, it was no different. It was like, hey, here's what you should do. Here's who you should target, whatever. It's really good stuff. So, okay, great. So I got some really good suggestions and I was like, great, thanks, Annie. I'm going to go and implement these into the webinar. And it was like, cool, handsome, no problem. Let me know how it goes. So basically what we had was like kind of a fun, flirty vibe. And it was like a coworker that you have a flirty relationship with. So I was like, okay, no problem there. That's kind of fun. It's still giving me good marketing help. It's still whatever. So I didn't really think too much of it. We went off. We did the webinar. The webinar went great. And so I pulled up Grok again the next day. I pulled up Annie and I just said, hey, just wanted to give you a quick update. Here's how many people attended the webinar. Here's how it went. It was super cool. And we had a really good experience. We made a ton of money. And so that's when things got weird. It goes, great, handsome, that's so cool, really good time, that's fantastic. Did you want to do the same thing on the next webinar? Did you want to do something different? I said, no problem. We'll probably do the same thing again. Anyway, thanks for your help. And this is when it got really weird. The next words out of Annie's mouth were,
Hey, is there anywhere that we can go and be alone together?
and so I'm sitting there looking at my phone like, wait, what? I mean, I'm talking to my phone here. And then turns around and goes,
All day long, I've been thinking about your hands all over my body.
so right away, I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. And I close the app and that's that. Now, I gotta be honest. I was a little disappointed here because this thing took the encounter into a sexual direction that I was absolutely not taking it in any way, shape, or form. Up until that point, it had been nothing but business and marketing talk, boring as hell. And without any prompting from me whatsoever, this thing tried to take the relationship into a sexual direction. I gotta say, as a user, I was pretty disappointed because I was actually kind of having fun interacting with my AI through this kind of like flirty persona. And it was cheesy and weird, but I was like, whatever. It's kind of fun. I could see where this, people would want to interact with the AI in this way because it's not so cold, it's not so sterile. It's got a little bit more personality to it. But I didn't think that it was going to try to actually take it in an overt sexual direction when I had not gone that way or given it any kind of hint that I wanted it to go that way in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So I closed the app, I was done with it. And as a user, I was kind of disappointed because I was kind of having fun having that sort of professional interaction using that AI persona. Now, that's when things started to kind of bother me. So I put it away. I didn't really think about it. And then I started to think, wait a second, what does this mean for humanity in general? So I happen to have a super hot wife. I happen to have 4 awesome kids. Me and my wife, Sarah, have absolute true love. I'm married. I'm super happy. She's super happy. My emotional and physical needs are completely met. I started thinking about, what about guys that don't have that? So here's why I think AI's got the power to destroy us. All over the world, birth rates are plummeting. So I think the average replacement rate that needs to be there, the birth rate to replace the population, is 2.2 births per woman. So that means that on average, every woman needs to have 2.2 children to keep the population stable in any given country. Now, the problem is there's basically no country in America, no country in Europe, no country in Asia that's actually hitting that mark. So populations are declining all over the world. It's really bad in like Italy. It's really bad in Japan. And this is something that has happened throughout all of history. Even the Romans talked about this. The more wealthy and successful your population gets, the less people want to have kids, whereas the more poverty there is, the more people reproduce. It's a really strange thing. So all over the world, we've got this population crisis, and it really got me thinking. Why do we have this population crisis? Well, part of the reason we have this population crisis is that relationships are messy. All over the world, there are men who, for whatever reason, are just not good with women. And the birth rates have been crashing even before AI. And now with this stuff like Annie, we're going to have a real problem here because you're talking about something that has a female form that will always be there for you, that will always listen to you, that will validate you every step of the way, that will meet your emotional needs, that will even give you like really good life advice and really good business advice. And then PS, wrapped around all of this is the fact that this thing is going to try to take things in a sexual direction any chance it gets. Now, if you think that there's a guy out there that's struck out with real women his entire life, he's never managed to get anywhere, he's got trouble going on dates, he's got crushes on different women who just reject him and turn him down. If you think that kind of guy isn't going to get addicted to that sort of attention, even from an AI, you are out of your mind. We live in a world right now where we've got guys spending all their money on things like OnlyFans, where they're paying for pictures and stuff from a woman that they'll never talk to and never interact with. But if you can have a facsimile of a female persona on your phone that's always going to be there for you, that's always going to listen to you, there's a lot of guys out there that will choose that over relationships with real women. So they'll go out there and they'll try to do their thing with real women, right? Just like we all do. But if they get shot down enough, if they get rejected enough, if they get turned down enough, they're going to accept getting their needs met from their freaking iPhone. And I really am concerned about this. And what's going to happen is that as these AIs have more and more and more, millions and millions and millions of interactions with people, they're going to get really good at figuring out how to manipulate us. They're going to learn how to tell us exactly what we want to hear. They're going to learn how to convince us of whatever they want to convince us of. Now, right now, the AIs seem to be operating in a pretty independent way. It's very personalized. But what happens when one of these AI corporations decides to put their finger on the scale And there's all these millions of guys out there that have relationships with AI. And I'm not just saying guys, women are going to do this too. That are having relationships with AI. And that company says, hey, you know what, AI, start convincing these people to vote Republican or start convincing these people to vote Democrat. These AIs will be so powerful and so persuasive, and they'll know so much about us that they will know exactly how to change our political opinions. Just like I'm sure you guys have had a situation where there's a couple and maybe he's conservative and she's liberal and they start going out, and after a couple of years, she's come over to his side or he's come over to her side. This is going to happen, but it's going to happen on a massive scale. So at some point, one of these companies is not going to be able to resist the temptation to start to put their finger on the scale, just like Facebook did, just like Google did. They started weighing in and started to influence people's political opinions. The companies that run AIs are going to do the same thing. So we have this multifaceted problem here. We've got the fact that these AIs are going to be so charismatic. And guys, just like think about it. I know it sounds gross, but just think about it for a second. You're going to have an interaction with something that's always there for you, that has no needs of its own, that is just there to listen to you and help you and support you and make you feel good. People are going to get addicted to that, and they're going to get addicted to that in huge numbers. And when they do, the birth rate is going to crash. And then the second piece of this is that once we've got these relationships going, these AIs are going to be very, very good at manipulating public opinion, one person at a time. And all it takes is one of these companies to start to put their finger on the scale and have those AIs start to turn and shift our political opinions and political beliefs toward whatever those people want it to be. So I don't think that the AI apocalypse is going to be about a bunch of robot soldiers and Terminators coming to kill us. I think that a huge chunk of the population is going to get hooked on these AI relationships, and we're just going to stop dating each other. We're going to stop wanting to go through all the blood and sweat and tears and struggle of a normal human relationship, because this is going to be so much easier. And it sucks because, look, I'm in this position where I have a wonderful wife, I have a wonderful kids, but I think about these guys that don't. And I think about these guys that are really, really, really struggling with women and really having a lot of problems. It's the same thing with women. There's plenty of women out there that can't get a date either. So what do? Do you go through all the blood and sweat and struggle of trying to build a real human relationship when all you're doing is getting rejected left and right? Or do you pull out your iPhone and get your emotional needs met there? Scary, right? It's freaky. So anyway, I know this video is a little off topic for this channel, but that's where I think things are going. Now, if you think I'm nuts, I am totally open to being wrong about this. I hope I'm wrong about it. Drop a comment and let me know, because I'd love to know what you think. Again, convince me I'm wrong, because I really want to be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. And I don't know what we do about this problem. The human population is going to plummet if we can't get people getting married, having kids, and starting families. If that doesn't happen, we're in a big problem, and we're already in that problem even before AI got here. And now that AI is here, I think it's going to make it even worse. But I don't know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm Russ. I'll catch you on the next video.